is not infallible. Of course, he would have his shortcomings as well. Some of the shortcomings might misuse the power under him, and he wouldn't know. Before he left, he came, and apologized to Nigerians, and he sought for their forgiveness, because as a true Muslim that he was, he 8 years, led millions, hundreds of millions of
people. My person in particular, I came up with visionary ideas on how to ensure that Tet Fund as a special intervention fund, trust fund, operates in a visionary manner, that is, in anticipation of fulfilling the purpose for the vision appropriation intervention window that will sort out the financial deficits over decades, which was responsible. Remember, in the late 80s, ASU had said our Nigerian universities were glorified secondary schools. And that was what led to the negotiation for ETF that was established 1993, after agreement was signed 92, and then redesignated Tet Fund. Over the years, the interventions have made massive difference. ASU is no longer saying that our universities are like glorified secondary school any longer. I can say this. And believe me, it is essentially because of the focus and impactful intervention of Tet Fund money.
He did his best given the challenges that confronted him, especially the insecurity. When he took charge in 2015, some parts of the nation were actually under the control of insurgent elements. Of the 774 local government, about 15 of them were under the control. He liberated all of them. He revamped the military, their arsenal especially, because it was under him the Super Tucano jets were protest. Governance is a continuum, and he tried to boost also agriculture. Credit to him that he finished some of the projects initiated by the previous regime and tackle the problem of the East-West by concluding the Niger Bridge now that has been there, become a white elephant project over time. So these are some of the things I remember Buhari for: his sense of discipline, his integrity, and his patriotism. He was an undiluted patriot. Buhari lived and breathed Nigeria.
That if we want the country to grow, we should place integrity, transparency, and accountability. American composer Ivan said, this song had ended, but the melody continues. We continue to sing the melody of his integrity quotient, of his transparency quotient, of the fact that he wanted the country to be big. He wanted the country to feed itself. He wanted us to be ourselves. He could not understand that we are importing rice. That's why he invested with rice millers. Some are still doing well, especially in northern states like Kebbi.
Some people have a tendency to micromanage. Buhari leaves you to your devices. Once he trusts you, that's it. The former Minister of Works and Housing and former Governor of Lagos State actually once said the difference between Buhari and his successor is that his successor micromanages, while Buhari gives you the latitude to operate without asking you of anything. But some people will say that is politics of naivety. Buhari is the sort that would who took over power, elected as it were, but maintained the system he found there. He didn't tamper with it. There was a lot of outcry by party stalwarts that how can you inherit a PDP structure and then not dismantle it, continue with it? Then he retorted, are they not Nigerians? You understand? That was typical of vintage Buhari. He left behind this legacy of political transparency, openness, and hoping that some other people would emulate.
Perhaps you want to know more about the devices and gadgets you use. Tech Mode bridge that gap. Connect great minds while extraying everything about technology as it concerns you.
On the news tonight, freight forwarders called for enforcement of industry ethics standards in the sector. Nta Lagos Channel 10 celebrates staff members. Plus, latest on the foreign scene. Good evening. Welcome to Nta Lagos Channel 10 News. I am Oluwabukola Akonde. The news in details. The National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders, NAGAF, has called on the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria to consider the registration of 4 associations under its purview, citing gross misconduct among the members. Ese Owamaka has the details.
Press briefing held at the NAGAF headquarters in Apapa, Lagos. The national president of the association, Chief Nta Ch10, expressed deep concern over what he described as persistent violations of industry ethics and standards by some registered associations under the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, CRFFFN. The associations include Association of Nigeria Licensed Customs Agents, ANCA, Association of Registered Freight Forwarders, RF, National Association of Freight Forwarders and Consolidators, NAFAC, and National Council of Managing Directors of Licensed Customs Agents, NCMDLCA.
This group have publicly aligned with a court judgment obtained by Mr. Lucky Amiwero of the National Council in suit number FHC/L/CS/765/2018, claiming the CRFN lacks authority to regulate custom agents and collect the practitioner operating fee, POF. Yet, the CRFN has appealed and filed a stay of execution, rendering the ruling unenforceable.
According to Chief Ezizi, the growing tensions in the freight forwarding sector appear to stem from the appointment of Mr. Kingsley Igwe, a former secretary of NAGAF, as the new registrar of CRFFN. He recommended that the CRFFN take decisive action by deregistering the 4 associations, stating that such a move would restore sanity and protect the integrity of the sector.
We suspect a broader agenda to sabotage government reforms in the marine and blue economy sectors. Government should investigate the economic and regulatory sabotage being carried out under the guise of activism. These groups have often failed in their statutory financial obligation to CRFFN. ANACA and National Council must align their identities with the new Nigerian Customs Service NCS Act 2023.
NAGAF also reiterated its commitment to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, pledging continued support for policies aimed at reforming the maritime industry and promoting professionalism in freight forwarding. In Lagos, Ese Owamaka, NT News.
It was a beautiful moment today at the Nta Lagos Channel 10 as the August birthday celebrants were shown love by the general manager, Modupe Oyewumi, and the staff. Our correspondent who witnessed the celebration brings us more details. The report. This was the mood of staff at Nta Lagos Channel 10 as they rejoiced with the August birthday celebrant for another prosperous year. The general manager, Modupe Oyewumi, with smiles beaming on her face, applauded the celebration.